England, 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 England. Um, really, I think that is actually one of the worst England performances I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you have to probably go back to like the 90s to see a worse performance than that. It was bad. I mean, I'm not going to front, I'm not going to lie, I'm going to be as brutally honest as possible because that's what I am, double-edged. I'm brutally honest. It was very, very bad from England, you know. And I think everybody's to blame. The manager is to blame, but especially the players are to blame. The manager is to blame for a degree where Gerrard is playing on the left. Why do you have such a central-minded player playing on left wing? It's madness, absolute madness. That's the first thing, obviously, and then the second thing, obviously, is the whole Heskey thing. Obviously, he should have pretty much made the substitution either at halftime or 30 minutes into that first half. He should have made that substitution in the first half, if he was serious, because obviously it wasn't working in the way it worked against America. It really wasn't working, and therefore should have come on in that first half, because 20 minutes in, just like this is not working, and you could see that Algeria were very, very, very up for this match, because I'm looking at that match objectively as a neutral. Algeria looked the better team, as in they were the more dangerous team. And also they did not have players as good as England did, but they just looked more dangerous. They just looked like a much more dangerous team. But I think the thing with England, man, it's baffling, because I think it has to be a fear thing, because okay, you're playing out of position, or maybe you're not feeling the whole tactics, but it's you look at Lampard, it's where on earth is Lampard? Where is Jeremy? Where are all these guys doing? But I think people need to just realize this. It's very simple. Don't come out with the whole thing of oh, Lampard week in, week out. Oh, Gerrard week in, week out. Look at what they do. Lampard is playing with other international superstars like Essien, like Ballack, and all of these other, and Drogba as well. Gerrard obviously, playing with guys like Torres. Obviously, previously he was playing with Alonso, playing with Benayoun. So he's not playing with English guys, but when it now comes to the hardcore, the real McCoy, that's when you see whether these guys are really anything. That's when you see, and I just look at that, Gerrard and Lampard. I'm sorry, they're not the real deal. And this was from 2006, because they fully flopped in 2006, and they're pretty much flopping again now. Because if you cannot dominate a match against Algeria, I mean, fans have the right to boo your faces off. They should boo and heckle you and throw stuff at you, really. I mean, everyone, Rooney had a wretched game. I mean, he had a really, really bad game. Heskey, he did a few good things, but really as a whole, as I said, Defo should have pretty much come on 25 minutes in, But I mean, Algeria, man, is I think is it Niani or something like that. I can't remember the guy's name. Basically, the guy with blonde hair, and he was causing them problems. Belhaj again. He was one of the best players on that pitch. He was one of the best players on that pitch because really, on that left wing, he was causing problems. And if you look at the Algerian guys, man, they just looked more dangerous, and the ease with which they broke down England's play, I was like, it was shocking, because it just seemed a bit too easy the way Algeria were repelling England's meager and meek attacks, But I think, man, looking from this thing, as a neutral, it's very simple what England have to do. Because if it was me, if I was the coach, if they gave me the hot seat, I'd drop from it. I'd say Lampard and Heskey have played their last game for England, I'll drop Heskey, drop Lampard, and you have Wright Phillips on the right, Lennon on the left, or possibly you have Joe Cole on the left, Lennon on the right, and I can bring in Wright Phillips to basically change things a bit. You have those two, and you have Gerrard and Gareth Barry in the middle. Gareth Barry is a holding midfielder who basically does defending, and Gerrard is the much more attack-minded midfielder who can basically join in with Defoe and Rooney. And the thing is that you then tell people like Lennon and Joe Cole that it's all right to dribble. You don't have to pass the ball back. That even if you dribble and you lose the ball, that's fine. But really, your aim should be you're trying to either cross the ball or cut in and try to basically create some damage on that wing. You're just trying to ruffle off the defenders, whether it's by weaving in, weaving out, dribbling, and just trying to basically create something, which I think they really do not do enough of. I think I was just thinking, why Lennon? It's like, why you keep on putting the ball back, in Tottenham? I know what you're capable of doing. Like, you beat defenders, you run at these people. So but with the England thing, it's pretty bad, man. That's pretty bad. It's like, you look at those players, and I think, the fans, they should be extremely angry, because when players, for me, I feel it's all hype, but when players are given that much hype and they're paid that much, Lampard is paid like hundreds of grand a week, and he can't dominate a match against Algerians who earn like 60 or 70% less than him. Those Algerian guys, they don't earn anywhere near as much as Lampard earns, and Lampard, he cannot dominate that much. It's extremely embarrassing. Extremely embarrassing. And against Slovenia, man, they have a game on their hands, because Slovenia know that, okay, England are now, they're playing badly now. And Slovenia, obviously, they've got in their stride now. And it will be a trick. I still feel like if England are they're still going to win that match. But it's going to be tricky. And the bigger picture, you have to look at the bigger picture here. Even if they beat Slovenia, the bigger picture is what's going to happen when England play a real team. What's going to happen when England play a team who can actually attack? Because Slovenia will not have the kind of attacking threats that Brazil will have, or Chile will have, or Mexico will have, or a Spain, or maybe even like a Holland. My goodness, Holland will have. Because if Algeria were causing England some real problems, because Algeria were causing England some serious problems and tested David James a lot more than their keeper was tested. If Algeria are doing that to England, man, it's bad. And from Algeria, man, it's amazing because, again, this group is fully open, because Algeria now know that if they beat America and they beat them well, man, they're in a very, very good position to go through. So Algeria are still in this thing, and I'm looking at that Algerian team who have improved a heck of a lot from the first match. They can beat America. They can beat America. Because they can just have a really good way. They just get America, and everything is just going well for them, and everything is going against America. But for me, I think they can beat America. So it's gonna be it's gonna be very interesting last day. It's gonna be very interesting. But I think I was looking at that England thing, and I was literally just scratching my head. That's, my goodness, man. Look at these overpaid people who, when they put on an England shirt, they put on this display. It's shocking. It's one of the worst, probably the worst England performance I've ever seen. And that has probably ever been. It's not good. It's not good at all.